So I got a court-ordered paternity test here. Court-ordered paternity test. Court-ordered paternity test. Court-ordered paternity test. Paternity test results for a woman in Texas that I got pregnant a few years ago. Dallas, Texas, my court-ordered paternity test. So I got a court-ordered paternity test here, but here's the lore on why I got this court-ordered paternity test. So this is when I lived in Texas almost 3 years ago. I met this lady at the gym. She was really nice. Turns out she lived right down the block from me, and she worked at the local Waffle House where I would visit frequently. We would go out like from time to time, maybe 3-4 times a month together. We started accumulating the same group of friends from the gym, from Waffle House, from our neighborhood. We got pretty close. I got close to her family. Well, I started planning my trip to move back to California, and I told her I'm moving in 3 weeks. She was like, me and my mom would love to have you over. I got to have a serious talk with you. I'm like, okay, bet, let's go. So I go to her house about 3 weeks before I moved back to California. Her and her mom sit me down at the dinner table and had this serious talk with me. My friend explains to me that she's been trying IVF and all the ways to get pregnant. She really wanted a child. She lost one of her childs like during birth or during pregnancy, I'm sorry. And she couldn't find any luck. And she said, I'm the only one that she trusts. I've known her for almost 3 years. And her mom offered to pay me $2,500 to do a personal deal with her daughter in exchange for my sauce. She said she'd pay me $1,250 up front after the deed is done. And even if I move back to Cali, she'll send me the other $1,250 once the baby is born. I said, bet, you're my friend. Can't say I took one for the team. It was a crazy, great experience. In those 3 weeks I was there, we did the deed about 6 times, twice a week. It was like Wednesdays and Fridays, depending on my mood. So I get back to California, don't hear nothing from her. And then I see her like a month after I moved to California at like a Big X concert. Big X to plug. So I kind of play it off. I don't say nothing. I waited 3 months. I hit her up. I was like, hey, any luck with the pregnancy? She's like, yeah. I said, well, can you have your... She said, yes, I'm pregnant. I said, hell yeah. I said, can your mom send me that $1,250? She said, it doesn't work like that. She ghosted me. So then I start texting her mom. Her mom's like, well, actually, my daughter, Amelia, she had twins, 1 boy and 1 girl. And we're going to need child support for both of them. I can't afford to pay you the other $1,250. I said, what the f? So then I get a letter in the mail from like the courthouse saying that I got to come in and do some paperwork because they're filing a petition for child support. I said, send me a picture of these babies. Here's a picture of these babies. I know goddamn well those babies aren't mine. I said, do not make me call my uncle Maury Povich because he will find out if I am the father or not in less than 7 minutes in a commercial break. So now it's been like a year and 3 months, and now I'm getting a court-ordered paternity test in the mail. I don't know if it was that Big X to plug concert she went to, or this was a scam from the beginning.
A simple deal to a bizarre request, and a court order which kicks off a downward spiral of chaos, humiliation, and financial problems. This is a cautionary tale about a man who, step by step, walks into a trap of his own making. Today on Skolias Geneas, we are not here to mock his misfortune. We're here to dissect it, because his journey is a perfect, painful illustration of a world without a fundamental character trait, good judgment. And we will see how its absence make a man vulnerable to potential disaster.
Court-ordered paternity test. This is part 2. My last video had 500,000 views in the comment section. It's going crazy. What did she look like? They don't send paternity tests through the mail. Well, this is part 2. Here's a follow-up. Number 1, yes, they do send them through the mail. If you look at the comment section, there's plenty of people who said they went through this process. So what they did was send me a paternity test from Texas Lab with like a protection seal, like a piece of tape that says protection seal. And if that seal is broken, the test is invalid. I had to take that test in yesterday to a local administrator, like a proctor who administered the test for me. It was a cheek swab, and they sent it in on my behalf. We did the test yesterday, folks. By the way, she is a beautiful Nigerian queen.
The foundation of this entire disaster was a web of indiscretion and a complete lack of foresight. He was operating purely on impulse, blind to the obvious character flaw of everyone involved.
She worked at Waffle House. She said she was struggling with her ex, who was an abusive guy, to get pregnant. She tried IVF, didn't work. And for whatever reason, she trusted me enough after 3 years that she asked me to put my seed inside of her, and I did. Now, 3 years later, she has twins. She sent me this picture. They look nothing like me. Well, I got a new package in the mail. So there's a letter, handwritten letter. I don't want to expose my address or nothing, but there's some artwork on there. It's looking kind of cute. It says, J Lame, you got. The pic I sent you of them kids, I found it on Pinterest, because I will not, with 3 underlines, give you the luxury to see these beautiful babies until you pay up. Does this car have like X's on the tires and windows? So I turn it over and there's a list on the back. The $10,000, which I'm assuming is this, the $10,000 is fake, to remind you of how fake you are. A notice from the law firm, paperwork. Oh, right here. She floated it up. Notice of judgment, family law, endorsement, and a $5 Kroger gift card so you can buy all these thirsty hoes in your comment section some Gatorade or something. My empty pack of birth control to remind you I don't want another baby daddy. I only want you. And a best dad cube that me and your little Steph Curry looking ass babies made for you. That's all it says. I took my test yesterday, y'all. I don't know what these babies look like. Amelia. Shout out to Amelia. Thank you for the funny money. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I took the test yesterday. The results could take anywhere from 3 to 6 months.
With a foundation this rotten, it is no surprise that the first sign of trouble was not a warning, but a taunt. This is not a cry for help. This is a test of intelligence. She is openly mocking him, testing the limits of his gullibility. The red flags are not just visible. They are being waved in his face, screaming like a siren on a fire truck, blaring down New York Avenue. The failure to discern the hostile intent here is a critical breakdown of character.
Court-ordered paternity test, all the way from Texas to California. If you haven't watched my first 2 videos about how I got a girl pregnant with twins in Texas, and now she's taking me to court for child support, go watch them. My first video has 500,000 views. The second one I posted yesterday is our 12,000 views. But I had to get something off my chest. I had this overwhelming sense of guilt about the actual story and the lore behind how I got this stranger pregnant. So at the time, I was in Dallas, Texas, and I was going to these trail rides, and I was driving from Dallas to Houston damn near every weekend. It's like a line dancing thing. And I met this beautiful Haitian woman. She was like the top bartender at this specific establishment. Me and her would hook up on like Wednesdays and Sundays. She was like my brunch, you know what I mean? My little eggs and bacon. We got down for damn near a year until her and her ex-husband got back together. Okay, I'm not going to lie. Even when her and her ex-husband got back together, I was still hooking up with her on Wednesdays and Sundays. Her husband was a firefighter in the Dallas area. Eventually got too overwhelming, and she kind of pushed me on to her daughter, who worked at Waffle House at the time in Garland, Texas. She was 22, I believe, 26, 24? I don't know. She was like mid-20s. Mom was like 48, 49. I was smashing mom, and mom told me, you need to get with my daughter. So she introduced me to her daughter, and this is after we were smashing me and her, the mom, were already smashing for over a year. So I was going to these family dinners with mom and husband, and now the daughter that I got introduced to from the mom that I was already smashing. The mom offered me $1,250 up front to get her daughter pregnant because her ex-boyfriend was super abusive and she had like a miscarriage. It was this whole crazy drawn out thing. I get back to California, don't hear shit from her. She never sends me my other half of the money, and now I'm getting sent to court to pay child support. So I feel like it's just right to cleanse my soul and come clean. Amelia, if you're hearing this, I hope my twins, my Steph Curry looking ass babies, as you said in your letter from yesterday, I hope Grandma Mima is taking care of them. But just know that me and your mom were smashing over a year before she paid me to smash you.
This brings us to the point of no return. The final test, where he is handed the truth on a silver platter that he was lied to about having twins, and he still makes the worst possible decision.
Court-ordered paternity test, part 4. This is how I'm getting sued and taken to paternity court for donating my sperm to a woman that asked for it. I was a known private donor. Look it up. And I ended up getting almost 3 years later. But everyone's asking, hold on. If you guys haven't watched part 1 through 3, this video might not make sense to you. Please go watch it. I made a playlist. So everyone's asking, how did you even meet the mom, the woman you were smashing? I'm going to tell you guys a little lore on how it all started. So I was going to Dollar General to grab some things to go to this pool party, this rooftop pool party in Dallas. I grabbed me some chapstick, a cucumber that I could snack on, some baby oil, and a pack of condoms. Because, you know, a pool party in Dallas, you don't know what you're going to get into. I wanted to be safe. This line at Dollar General was so fucking long. This nice older woman, employee, opened up a new lane and waved me over. She said, I can help you up here. I put my items on the conveyor belt. She has this little smirk on her face. And she's like, I've never seen you around here before. Are you new here? I said, no, I live like 35 minutes away. I'm going to this pool party. She smiles and she says, I could tell you like to have fun. I get off in 30 minutes if you need a +1. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take you up on that. I didn't realize she was 20 years older than me. Didn't matter. She was bad. So we went to this pool party together. We wore matching cheetah print bathing suits. We looked fire. We ended up smashing for months. Now, fast forward. We don't text often. We're not dating. We were just smashing like on Tuesday afternoons. It's just depending on the mood. And then my buddy I was in the Marine Corps with, he was still in the Marine Corps at the time. I was already out. He was stationed in California, but he was from Texas. He flies back to the States, and he's like, hey, bro, I'm in the States. I'm going to be at my family's house for Thanksgiving. I'd love if you came to meet with us, because he knew I didn't have any family, anyone in Texas. So as I'm pulling up to my friend's house, I noticed that this looks very familiar. I'm like, huh. I go inside, and lo and behold, my homie that I was in the Marine Corps with, his mom is the girl that I was smashing. I couldn't hold it in. I had to tell my homie, I said, hey, come outside with me. I told him that I've been smashing his mom for like 8 months. He gets pissed off. He has to be back in California to for duty, for the Marine Corps, active duty. And he blocked me on everything. He cussed me out, tried to fight me. And I'm like, so after he left back to California, me and his mom were done smashing. And that's when she passed me on to her daughter. Now, the weird thing is when me and mom were smashing for months, she would always make me call her Amelia, like in the bedroom. She said that was like her XXX name, and she liked when I called her that. So to find out that her daughter was Amelia and asked me to donate my seed to her daughter Amelia struck me as weird. And she always used to call me Kris Kringle because she said I was always delivering surprises and shit. I don't know what the And then she called me Reverend J or Pastor J because she liked the way I baptized her. Bro, this shit gets crazy. So not only did she ruin my life, I possibly got her daughter Amelia pregnant. She ruined one of my relationships with my best friend I served in the Marine Corps with. Paternity test results for a woman in Texas that I got pregnant a few years ago. Well, 3 years later, I get a court order paternity test. I get this in the mail, and basically it tells me due to human error, the results were inconclusive and I have to reschedule. So I rescheduled immediately. Well, 3 days ago, my phone's getting blown up at midnight by an unknown number. I pick up finally. It's this girl crying. It's the girl that I got pregnant. She said she has a confession. I said, what's up? She told me that she didn't actually have twins by me. She only ended up having one daughter. I said, okay, why'd you lie? She said, because I thought that would get you to come back out here and work things out. We ended up talking for 3 hours and we came to an agreement. She said, if you send me $2,500 right now to help me get some stuff for our daughter, I will not take you to court. So I instantly cash apped her the money. We ended up talking for like a total of 4 hours. I bought a ticket to Texas and I guess we're working this shit out and I get to meet my 4-year-old daughter for the first time. So I canceled my paternity test and I guess, congrats to me. I'll keep you guys updated. Dallas, Texas, my court-ordered paternity test. That shit went mega viral, and it's been about 2 months since I gave you guys an update. Last you knew, I took a plane. I bought a ticket to Dallas, Texas to reunite with my baby mama of twins that I hadn't spoke to in years. I sent her some money, and we talked for hours on the phone. Go watch it. It's a playlist up there, but here's the update. I've been so embarrassed to tell you guys about what actually ended up happening. I flew out there in like the middle of June to Texas to reunite and make things good. I pull up to the airport, stop at a gift shop, buy a dozen roses, and I bought this balloon that says #1 dad. Wasn't sure if she was going to plan, but I wanted to feel special. I get to the airport. She's supposed to pick me up. Nothing. I wait, grab a little fucking honey bun from the vending machine. Nothing. 2 hours pass. I end up calling her sister. Her sister picks up and said, "Oh, she ain't tell you?" I said, "Tell me what?" She says she got locked up like 3 weeks ago for welfare fraud or EBT fraud, like she was selling food stamps out of the back of the Waffle House that she worked at, like WIC cards or something. She was on some real big scheme. And I'm like, no, this can't be her. That doesn't sound like her character. This can't be real. So anyway, I end up going to the fucking county jail. I call the Uber, which is like $83 fucking. And I go up, I'm like, hey, how much is her bail? I give her the name. And they're like, you're not even on her visiting list. Like, we can't allow you to do that. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm sitting in the lobby with this like #1 dad balloon, a dozen roses, and a guy in the lobby hears me say her name. Dude walks up to me. He's like, what do you mean? Blah, blah, blah. We exchanged some words. Come to find out, he's her first baby daddy. So me and him he's actually a cool fucking guy. Me and him start talking. He was like, no, if you could just cash at me or PayPal me, whatever it is, I'll make sure she gets the money. So what do? I PayPal him $1,500. He said he's going to use that to bail her out. And then he ends up like asking me if I could feature him on my TikTok because he's about to release a new album. I'm like, what the is going on? So then I look over to where his daughter's sitting. He also has a #1 dad balloon that I guess her family bought him. I'm like, hey, we got matching balloons. We should take a pic. And he was like, no, I got a warrant out for my arrest. I don't want to be on camera. I'm like, okay. So I made sure that he got the $1,500. We're good to go. I ended up extending my stay for like 6 more days because I thought he was going to bail her out. I cashed out on a hotel me and her were supposed to have together. It was a shit show. And I feel bad for her because I know she's getting set up. And I asked her brother, I sent him a text. I'm like, hey, like, have you seen my twins? Mine are her twins. He was like, oh yeah, they're beautiful. They need some summer clothes because it's hot as fucking Texas. So once again, I cashed up him $500. Actually took him to Target and got him a couple gift cards so he can make sure that mine and her twins are taken care of. He was cool as but I was embarrassed to come on there and say it because I wanted to like have a good ending to this chapter. But unfortunately, I didn't get to meet her. I stayed there for like 7-8 days and ended up flying back to California. And her brother was telling me like, oh, like your kids are beautiful with her. Like they got your eyebrows and your puffy cheeks. I'll let you know when she gets out. So just like 3 days ago, it kind of triggered me. He hit me up and he was like, hey, bro, when can you like do a little stitch with my TikTok and put her on your page? I'm like, hold up. I want to see my babies. I want to see my lady. And he was like, oh, she had to, her court date got pushed back to September 27th. So that's where we're at, y'all. I'm just hoping and praying that this thing works out. I really want to see my daughters. I want to see my girl and work things out with her.
This is the final bill for a series of catastrophic judgments. In total, he spent over $5,000, not counting the airfare, of course, the travel time, chasing fantasy. He paid a confessed liar. He canceled his only source of truth, the paternity test. He flew across the country on a whim and gave bail money for a fraudster to another man who had a warrant for his own arrest. You just cannot make this stuff up. This is the definition of self-inflicted defeat. This story is a painful lesson, but it is a vital one. The world is full of manipulators who prey on those who lack discernment. The only defense is strong character built on the virtue of prudence. This is the Skolias Geneas protocol for forging good character. Let's take a look at 3 actionable steps we can take. Number 1, judge by actions, not words. The core of discernment is trusting patterns, not pleas. This woman's actions were consistently chaotic, manipulative, and deceitful. A prudent man gives more weight to a proven track record than to any emotional tale he hears over the phone. Number 2, seek wise counsel, not validation. This man operated in isolation. Guided by his own flawed emotions and the validation of TikTok comments, a prudent person knows they have blind spots and is not afraid to ask for advice from people who have demonstrated good judgment in their own lives. Number 3, master your desires. He was so desperate for a specific outcome, to be a father, to have a good story, that he ignored all the evidence telling him it was a lie. You must be willing to walk away from what you want in order to see what is. Prudence is impossible when you are a slave to your own hopes. This story is not about being a victim. It is about how a failure to build the character of good judgment makes you a willing participant in your own destruction. The crooked path is often disguised with emotional stories and tempting promises. The straight path of the prudence requires you to see through the disguise, to think before you feel, and to act with wisdom. The choice of which character to build is always ours. The choice is always yours. Thank you for joining us at Skolias Geneas.